So, sorry for the short delay, but I even brought Simon with me, so I also have my CEO and head of development here for my presentation. So, if you have any more technically related questions afterwards, Simon will be happy to step in. So, basically, I think most of you might know me. Who does not know me, I'm Martin Santner. I'm the senior channel manager here at Viprinet, working with Viprinet since 2009. A good colleague from me, Janusz, just had his 10 years anniversary. I think the beginning of this week. Christian will be the next, and hopefully I will be number 3 in a couple of, at least 1 year or so. So basically why I'm here today, I think we heard a lot of stuff already from Simon, a little bit an overview about the platform Toughlink. He also spoke about the difficulties to develop a one-size-fits-all model and how it gets bigger and bigger. Now my approach is today, I will give you a little bit more detailed information about the specification and about possible designs of the devices, the first 2 versions we will bring to market. Of course, as some people of you might know, we always have a special Viprinet offer also for the Viprinet days, on the latest on that presentation, but I think we should simply start. So, what's going on? Yoshi? What happened here? Yeah, please, would be nice. Worked about. Pointer works. Funny thing. Technology. No, I think the battery is empty simply, because it went off. Okay, I will use the. Yeah. Good. I will use the keyboard. Okay, so here we are. So, like Simon had explained, Toughlink is more than just one device. It's a highly customizable platform. We will offer various editions, like for outdoor installation. You can do mobile hotspot, live streaming in further applications, rapid site deployment, and of course many more kind of applications you could imagine, which I not even be able to think about at the moment. So compared to all other Viprinet products you saw in the past, when you saw our 512 or our other routers, we just said simply stay to your roots, just do routing, just build routers because we are good at it. But the demands from our customers and the requests from the markets have changed since Viprinet started with the product in 2007. We had our modular router, which was a unique platform, and is it still today in this price class, because there is no other vendor product which offers you internal modems and a future-proof platform for future installations to save your investment. But when it comes to the 512, and I think Johnny, as one of our main partners who is doing a customized version based on the 512, it was a really non-modular platform. So everything, to add anything to it was quite difficult. It was never designed to do it. The casing, everything was too small. And like everyone said, yes, the casing is a little bit bigger. I have, by the way, 2 versions here. Everyone is then later free to go look at it exactly, lift it and see what's going on, even when your guys are non-technical guys. So, but this device has the space for a reason. And like Simon pointed out in his keynote, it gives you the opportunity to actually save other components, other devices in installation with a customer, yeah? Because like it works again. It's not a single product, it's a fully flexible platform. So, some of the features, like Simon pointed out, just to give you the basic information. It's called a 2D car form factor. That's the size of the device. So yes, of course, you can't put it into your car in the radio lock, but at least that you get a feeling what is the size called. It's a 2D car form factor. You can equip it with up to 4 times LTE. it can be LTE advanced, it can be standard LTE, depending on the need of your market. You have an Ethernet WAN port, as you might know it from the actual 512 device, and you also have GPS. What is new, and this is really new, you can also have now, for specific versions, you can order a Wi-Fi client. Yeah, because we listen to our partners. Even if this is not important in Germany, in all other countries, we have public Wi-Fis. So a lot of the time we get a request, oh, we need to be able to bond a public Wi-Fi together with the in the device from scratch. Yes, you can choose it. You simply choose a configuration with a Wi-Fi client module. And of course, there's a Wi-Fi AP included, and actually there are two Wi-Fi APs included, because 2.4 and 5 gigahertz, or you can rather choose 2 times 2.4 or 2 times 5 gigahertz. So this is, for example, what is available on the Wi-Fi side. Then we have now also listened to our customers, which said we need to enter more SIMs. We need to be able to enter more SIM cards in the devices. Because even if you go cross-border, and this was far before SIM-BAT, which is another project my colleague Christian will talk about, we had 4 SIM cards, which was quite good when you are still in Germany, but as soon as you traveled over a border, it might be not sufficient. So now you can use 8 SIM cards in the device, and you are able to access them from the outside. It's no need to remove any part from the router, just plug them in. By the way, it works again. Funny, thank you. And another important point, I learned it recently how it is named. Because if any one of you guys ever have used any antenna with one of our devices, you have normally broken your fingertips because these SMA connectors were not comfortable. Now we have moved to another system, which is called FACRA, which is from the automotive industry. It's easy to connect, it sticks rock solid, and you can easily disconnect it. And we of course have also we will also expand our antenna portfolio. This, for example, is a Wi-Fi antenna fitting for the device, which you can plug into it. And here we have dual omni-panel antennas, the standard LTE external antennas with those connectors, those FACRA connectors. And there's also a special antenna in development, which is only one case with one antenna case with a combined antenna in it, which will be available later this year. But also, when you look at the device here, you can now easily see by the color what is what. So we have gray for the Wi-Fi, we have the LTE, which is red, and we have blue for the GPS. So you will not, it's difficult to mix up cables from the different antennas in an installation. So we also think this is was quite a good idea to do this. And this device is the first device of Viprinet which is SIM-BAT ready. SIM-BAT, by the way, like I said, we have now 8 SIM cards, but with SIM-BAT you will be able to access an unlimited number of SIM cards over multiple providers in multiple countries. Hopefully you are a little bit curious now, because you have to go to the presentation of my colleague Christian to learn more about this. Yeah, but it will go out of this presentation if I dive too deep into it. But just imagine you have in a data center somewhere all over the world, you have localized SIM cards which you can bootstrap virtually to the device. So you do not need any SIM card in the device anymore, except of one SIM card to establish one first initial connection to SIM data racks all over Europe, all over the world. So, like I said, let's touch base with the more technical colleagues about that. So, but now it comes to the real thing, because we have now say, okay, one size doesn't fit all. So, beside those general features I pointed out, you have options. You can choose dual or quad-core CPU power for the device. Yeah, we offer a special power supply unit with supercaps. Supercaps, if anyone know what supercaps are, you use supercaps in a car, because if you have a car and someone is turning the ignition, you have peaks in the power supply or you have outages, and supercaps are capable to cover that, and you get power at least for, I think it's 3 minutes or something, so you can also easily take the device, put it somewhere else, connect it to the power again. So it guarantees an absolute stable power supply for the device. Then Then we have, of course, you can use now up to 2 HDMI video in and video out. It's also an encoder available. It's also SDI video available if you want it. It's not in those versions now, but this platform gives you all the opportunities and the possibilities to really, really customize the design of the platform, the functionality to the needs of your customer, except for example without adding a second device for encoding or something, but integrated in the device. Yeah? Then we have some internal server capability. You can run a media server on it. You can sacrifice one of the CPU cores to run a virtualized application from your own. Even in the mobile version, of course, you might lose some throughput. I will explain the facts about the throughput a little bit later, but you are capable to do this. And we also offer a special waterproofing external case for some versions, yeah? Especially for the low power versions, which you can basically put the device in an enclosure. This enclosure is completely waterproof. You can mount it on the top of the building near the antenna is sized. And about the power supply, I will give you a short explanation later. And of course, the special antenna box, which is currently under development. And like I said, you only have one box with a combined antenna for up to 4 LTEs. And you only have to attach those lines here, and you do not have to mess with tons of cables, and looks quite nice. It's still under development, will be available, I think, end of this year. So, like I said, we will start general with Toughlink. You have 2 platforms to start with or to choose from. So, we will have a commercial temperature range platform. So for all devices or for all applications where the device is inside, not outside, not in a harsh environment, but you need throughput, you would choose a motherboard with a standard temperature range. Then you would have a throughput of up to 200 megabit with a dual core, and a quad core would give you about 250 megabit or even more. But the quad core is not meant to improve throughput in that way. It's meant to even let applications run much easier on the device. Then you can sacrifice 2 cores to run your local media server. If you have a video surveillance system or a media server in a bus, a local SSD where you distribute media, or you have other applications, what your customer needs, you can run them safely in this virtualized environment. So the quad core, yes, of course, gives you more throughput too, but gives you room to run your own applications and your own services on that device. And of course, in this version, all hardware options, which we said before, are available. Yeah. So, and then we have also the extended temperature range stuff, which is it's a dual core CPU again, has a throughput of 150 megabit per second, and here again you can sacrifice some CPU to custom applications. Not all hardware versions are available. So for example, for this version we don't get the quad core. Like I said, this industrial board is low power, extended temperature range, but the dual core is at least sufficient, and is sufficient to run multiple applications. So when it comes to the extended temperature range, you should stick to this one. And the waterproofing with the bathtub is available for the extended temperature range. I will explain in a moment why, and there's a good reason for it. So just imagine what we do nowadays, and I just named this device Toughlink Lite by accident. So basically today we have a rapid site deployment installation. So nowadays, what do you want in Germany for typical, or in Europe for typical rapid site deployment? So in general, we want to have 3 times LTE, because at least in Germany or in other countries, we do not have more than 3 independent carrier networks. And if you have a static installation, most of the time 3 carriers are highly sufficient. Yeah? But there might be a Wi-Fi client network, a Wi-Fi network available in that area which I can bond together. So you definitely should have a Wi-Fi client in it. On the other hand, yes, you want to have the local people using the device. Of course, the device should have a Wi-Fi access point in it. And you want to have standard power, but you also want to be able to provide power via PoE. Because, like I said, might be an outside installation on top of a building, or where you just have, when you want to keep the length of the cable to the antenna as short as possible. So you put it on the top, use a waterproof enclosure. And then you only have this one little Ethernet cable going down to the building, providing electricity and everything for this device. So, not losing any additional signals, just shorten the antenna length of the antenna cable. And this is, for example, something which is there from scratch. So here you can use AC, you can use a standard power, 220 volts, you can use PoE, and you can also use stable 12 volt. And when I say stable 12 volt for this device, it really means not a car installation, because a car installation is not a stable 12 volt environment. So anything can be, for example, something like a ship with buffered battery, something where you do not have those peaks. Then you should use then you use PoE or AC. And I want to have a dual-core CPU. Yes, of course, I might have some other applications, but at least 150 megabit of throughput is the throughput I would aim for such a device. So, and like I said, bonding capacity 150 megabit. And it would also be cool to have extended temperature range, yeah, because this is can be cold there, can be on the outside. You want to make sure. And the bottom line is, it needs to be cheaper than existing devices from Viprinet which do not fulfill those needs, yeah, because this is your own requirement, because not just spending a little bit less money on the device. So, and by accident, since yesterday, these are our first 2 Toughlink versions available from today. So as you might see here, these are the 3 times LTE Europe, Africa, Australia device with GPS, 1 Wi-Fi client, 2 Wi-Fi APs, like I mentioned, 2.4, 5 gigahertz, or 2 times 5, 2.4. It's your choice. It has 8 SIM card slots, so 4 more than any existing 512 router and anything what we have in the current rapid site deployment environment. Even if you do not use 8 different carriers, maybe you use 8 different SIM cards because of the volume. Because the customer on the site has a high volume customer, and the data plan on a single SIM card is not sufficient, and the data plan on 4 SIM cards is not sufficient. So you enter 8 SIM cards in it. Of course, still only 3 of them can used at the same time. Then we also have, then we have the bonding capacity, and we offer AC and PoE power. And the price is 3,390. So nowadays, you have a 512 with less bonding capacity, a single core GPU, CPU, 4 SIM cards, a Wi-Fi client, but no Wi-Fi access. Yes, you get 1 LTE more. I get it, but in 80 to 90% of all the use cases, we do not need more than 3, at least in the middle of them. Might be other cases, but it's $1,000 less compared to a 512 with functionalities like PoE, like extended temperature range, because in this device right now, what we have here, those devices all have the extended temperature range motherboard already in it, because we did not we pay a little bit more for those devices, but when we had our meeting regarding the specs of the devices, we came out, no, we stick to a basic functionality that we use for the high efficient, low pricing model. We use the extended range platform to make them as variable as possible. So you can mount them outside of a building. And like I said, the bath tube requires PoE. Otherwise, you won't get it sealed. So that's why this bath tube is only available for those things. And this is also one of the reasons why we said we have 2 platforms. Because the quad-core CPU is not able to get powered over PoE. So now we can do it. So you have the requirements of the customer, high throughput, but lowest possible energy consumption, choose this one. Then we will also have what we also have present is the Toughlink 2001. It's called the Deluxe version. Why we call it Deluxe? Yeah, because it got LTE advanced with a theoretical throughput of 300 megabit per card, which we'll never achieve in the real world. But this one has 4 times LTE advanced. Here you have to be careful. At the moment, the 2501 will only work in Europe and Americas. There will be another version which we call 2502, which will work in Europe, Asia, Pacific, and Africa. but this is something we will get on the market in a couple of weeks. But until then, you could simply use this device. Except we thought, especially at the moment for the African market, everyone who joined Jackie's presentation a couple of an hour ago saw how pricely critical such a market is. So if the device is cheaper, makes more sense to bring it to that market first. So, and even this device with, again, 4 times LTE advanced with a bonding capacity of 450 megabit, AC, PoE power, 8 SIM cards, in this case no Wi-Fi client, because not in this version, but would be possible. You can easily combine also this device 3 times LTE advanced with a Wi-Fi client and then with a Wi-Fi AP, two-way Wi-Fi APs. It's just we had to start somewhere. It's for Viprinet and for us to start in a new, highly flexible platform. We already got nightmares, and Simon, we started to count on different versions of the device we might be able to provide. And when I think we stopped at 15 or 16 different configurations, and we would even closed it. So from the very beginning, we have those 2 devices which you can get from the stock. Might not fit for every purpose or for every reason. But, like I said, we have the options and we can customize the devices. Networked from Viprinet directly. So, again here, we are 500 euros cheaper than a comparable 512 with a lot more functionality. Yes, it's a little bit bigger, it's a little bit heavier. If you're still aiming for the really light version and ruggedized version of a 512 for special needs, so because we still believe that there is a market for low power, low throughput devices, especially in the security area, please listen to the presentation from James Santner from Wired Broadcast right after me, because then he will show you an alternative based off the 512 again. So these products are not in a competitive relationship. It's different verticals. It's different needs. We have on one hand, we have security, we have police, everything. Staying under the radar, low power, long duration is key. Then we have the private user, office user, for example, like we have here in Bingen. This device would be something we will put on our top of our building, because there we can just put an Ethernet cable down to our infrastructure, and then we have 3 times LTE, we have 3 carriers here, and only a meter of antenna cable. So we do not lose any signal, and we can easily stack it together with another device in-house. So if you have a customer who's already running fixed line networks with a 2620 in the basement, but gets no reception of LTE there, but would like, okay, it's cool, but I want to have additional mobile reception. Yeah, put it on the top of the building, just have 1 Ethernet cable going down, and then you're good to go. So, like I said, at the moment we are banned. What will come is the Desktop Deluxe version 2502, which is basically the Europe, APAC, Africa version. And at the moment, we are still in certification. It's not finished. It's a hell of work. I think Simon already pointed out in his presentation. But there is a dedicated version for cars. The dedicated version of cars will basically, of course, base on the, let me just go to it, on the extended temperature range board, because in a car it might be a bit colder than 0 and 70. And in the car edition, you will have power caps for sure. Like I explained at the beginning, you need to make sure that you have no peaks in the electricity, because this would force the router to reconnect. It could interrupt connections, and definitely in a car you don't want that. So this device will be. Let's go in here. So this device will be one of the devices we will offer next. If you have special requirements, talk to us. If there's a requirement to say, yeah, I have a proper public transport surveillance project in mind where it would make totally sense to have at least 1 or 2 video in. So not even video out, but to get security footage in for public transport. And I did a comparison on the market. There is no other device on the market at the moment from any competitive vendor who offers you the flexibility in any way this new platform gives you to develop your customized version of a product. So everything else what I found on the market, rather it's an encoder or rather it's a router, but the combination to get everything together and fit multiple purpose, it's unique. It's again something really unique, not available on the market. Think comparable like when we started in 2007 with our 6-slot routers, the modular ones, which were also unique in that class. And like I said, Viprinet would not be Viprinet because I had a hard fight with my CTO and of course with Simon, because as you might know from who visited our shows in the last couple of years, we often have had an offer for our partners, everyone who was who attended that meeting, and we have now pre-produced, like Simon said, or will produce the first series of those routers in the next couple of weeks, and we want to honor our partners who stayed with us also in the bad times, waiting for the new platform, that you can benefit from that product and see and also get it out and test it and use it and give us feedback to it. So, the Toughlink Lite, which normally costs 3,990, will be available for 1,995 partner price. And the other one, the Toughlink Deluxe, will be available for 2,245. And everyone who can do at least a little bit of mathematics and math, can see, okay, it's 50%. It's a one-time offer. It will not stay that way. And there is a little downside, because there are only 2 devices per partner, and we want to have your offer in until the 12th of September. So, not until Friday, but until next week, I would expect that you guys have made up your mind and think about if this is a device, if you as a partner have to. And beside those special offers, we have also a limited number of devices sitting on our shelf here, which we will provide for partners who come to us and say, okay, we will give it for free as a loan for testing, for demo, for all the stuff, for specific projects. So, if you have a current need to do it on your own, to buy it and to benefit from a very special price, now is the time to take it, at least 1 or 2 devices. So touch base with the distributors. We will collect the orders from the distributors in the next couple of days. So, and I can tell you this is a one-time offer. You will never get a discount of 50% on such a device for such an amount, for only 1 or 2 devices. Really, it's a one-time offer. It's nothing. I do not want to sell you heating stuff or pillows or something, but I know that I will not get the same price out of Rüdiger again. It was hard enough this time. So no, if you see a chance, take it. And now, after I've had such a long dialogue, any questions? I think for sure there might be any questions. Yes, please. Like I said, so 4.5G we have in this device. The deluxe device is LTE advanced, which is 4.5G. The desktop Lite version has the standard LTE. In general, on the daily base, even if you deal with 300 megabit theoretical throughput, comes again, we have a bonding capacity of 150 megabit. The theoretical throughput of the carrier network is far less than 300. But yes, there is a version with 4 times LTE advanced. And the issue with LTE advanced at the moment is that we can't cover the same markets and the same regions with the same module like we can do it with the normal LTE. There will be changes, but that's the reason we have an LTE advanced. So, anyone else? Olaf.
Yeah, I mean, we have a market where we have 450 megahertz.
Mm-hmm.
What's the likelihood that you can make a version where you drop in 450 megahertz? Not a problem at all. We don't have microphones here.
No, we only have this one, but we have changed one. But
Not a problem at all. We tested it, works. So no problem. Okay, you tested. Okay, we tested that it doesn't explode and burn down.
okay, but
We assembled the first piece of these on Monday night, from Monday to Tuesday. It was just a
Simon, will there be? I think because we are moving away from this project-based minimum order quantities from this product, or is it still the same what we had in the past? Just asking because I think Olaf, when he needs a version, for example, like a 2503 for the Nordics with a
It depends on what you
yeah.
do. Yeah, for example, so yeah, if you want a Nordics router, we would be happy with 25.
Hmm?
If you say you want to video capture
Hmm?
stuff, which will also involve a lot of R&D
Hmm?
time,
Hmm?
probably we are looking at more something like 100 minimum.
Okay, but
Depends. So
but so there is no limitation. When I showed you the options version, maybe I forgot that we can also choose different LTE modules and for different frequencies. I didn't want to go so deeply into the technical part. Anyone else? Yes, please, Otto. This is something. Is actually Simon brought it up. Said we might be able to do it. That's why I put it here optional. The only thing what I knew for sure so far was the HDMI. Then we had a meeting, and there was a request from professional users that okay, you can use HDMI in the consumer world, but the professional world uses different connectors. And then Simon came and said to me, yes, SDI is also possible. Yeah. So Simon, can you give a little bit more information about it?
So what we tried was capture cards with HDMI input. We tried SDI input. So far, we as a graphics card that we're using can only do DVI and HDMI output. So I'm not aware of an option to do an SDI output.
But input.
Input, yes, for output probably will have to use.
Yeah, but when you go to a standard surveillance scenario where you have SDI connection for the cameras, you might not need a direct output there. You just need to be able to stream it somewhere. Okay, Dirk, you were the next one.
2505, which is going through certification at the moment for the beacons.
Yeah, yeah, this one.
Is there already a view on the technical specs there and on pricing?
Simon, we had the pricing idea. I did not post it here because I was not aware how much work is still to. Yeah.
Name it. From the technical perspective, it is pretty much identical to the other one, with the exception of this super duper PSU super caps and extremely wide input range, and that you can solar power it and everything. But other than that, the specs are the same.
So basically, we are aiming, but it's not final, for RSP of round about 4,990 euros, which is basically the price of the old 512. But please take this not as granted at the moment. Maybe other 4,990. That's what you put on the 4,490. That's why I was not aware if it's still valid, Simon. But at the moment, this is the price we're aiming for. Things can change, but I saw the controlling sitting there and said, no, okay. So at least I can say for the moment we can stick to around about 5,000. Any other? Again, Dirk.
On the technical side, the deluxe version I saw you have 2 Wi-Fi access points on board.
Hmm.
Is there a possibility to put antennas on the outside of the solution itself, saying I have a bus, I put one box somewhere central in the bus, and I put 2 antennas, one in front, one in the back, just to cover the whole area of the bus.
You should have visited our technical track.
I'm
Because all of this is already solved. So we have these beautiful Parker connectors. Did you demonstrate them?
Yeah, at least explained it, yeah.
Plug and play.
Right direction, please, yeah.
So they are color encoded and they are encoded physically, so you can actually not mess up. And what we also brought here is we already have a wide range of antennas. So your situation was the bus, right? So what you could do, for example, is on the outside, on top of the bus, you use these. They have 2 LTE MIMO, so 1 LTE element. They also have GPS and they have a wireless LAN
Client.
also in it. So this you could use if you have a vehicle, let's say not a bus but a fire ambulance, whatever. You could use to pick up outside wireless LAN. So if you're near some station or whatever, then you can use this. Might actually also apply to this. So, and on the inside, there's also dedicated connectors. So for example, you can use these to some wireless LAN antennas and just put them somewhere in the bus where they're not seen, or you can use any wireless LAN antennas that you want. So all antenna connectors are outside. So yes, you can case, you run the wireless LAN inside the vehicle or building, and the LTE stuff, and in addition, potentially wireless LAN client on the outside. And of course, you can not just use our antennas, you can use any antennas.
Which are capable to use the FACRA connector.
Fiber connectors are great because they are easily pulled out and pulled in again, but they're also locked and certified for E1 for vehicles.
Anything else? Oh, ready. Oh, 1 hour already gone. I have a 1 hour slot. 1 hour, not half an hour. Shame on you. It's 1 hour according to here. Yeah. Yeah, 1400 to 1500. So tons of questions. What about who was? Yeah, please.
Okay, so we are talking now about the desktop version. So the desktop version needs a regulated 12 volts input. So you cannot put it to an unstable 12 volt source. If you have a stable 12 volt source, you can directly power it with these 12 volts. In this case, it will take typically about 3 amps, and at the very maximum, you should be looking at 4.5. And alternatively, of course, as Martin mentioned, you can power all of these with PoE, which is like 40, whatever. And of course, there's an external AC piece too. While for the car version, the super caps will be in there, so you can throw any crap, any kind of spiky, unstable voltage. We already tested it, as I said, with a solar panel. So yeah, so you can, in this case, you can throw any dirt at it.
I would have loved to be able to show you the Badewanne or bathtub. Sorry, we don't have one, or?
Not here.
Not here, so because it looks quite funny that you have a complete box. It's completely sealed. Yes, of course, we could have done things. We could start to try to get this enclosure completely certified, to have it waterproof, to have everything. But this would have made it too much expensive for a lot of other applications where it's not needed. But by providing an enclosure which you can use for those devices, you can achieve both goals. So we can stay in a cost interest.
So much about cost, it's actually more about that you can use standard connectors that make most people
Okay.
because 90% of the cases you don't need waterproofing. Because if you want waterproofing, for example, you cannot use a regular Ethernet connector. If you want waterproofing, you cannot use a regular SIM slot. So you're looking at a lot of problems. So we said, okay, it's an add-on to this to make it waterproof, so you can run standard cables.
Okay. Anything else? Hey, Dirk, yeah, quite active. Thank you.
Well, nothing to do with this one. A typical request we often get from customers is, this is very nice, we've got all those connectors, we've got to go with the antenna outside, but we don't want to put 4 or 5 antennas on top of the bus. Is there in the product range something coming up like some kind of an antenna combiner where we can...
I asked for a picture.
Okay, so
Or do we take it up as I'm talking about a very specific perspective?
No, no.
okay, so a general remark. At this point, and I know that there has been potentially someone in the room who disagrees, there is no legal LTE antenna, combiner and amplifier. If you just use a passive combiner, a Wilkinson combiner, you can do it, but you need to understand that by combining these two signals, you use half of the signal. So the signal strengths, you only have half of the signal strengths after combining. So
Without an amplifier.
so it's, you can do it, but you would typically want to do it together with an amplifier, but then it's illegal. That might not be a problem for some applications, police, etc., who don't care about it. The problem is that if you have a simple and available, made in China, amplifier, what it will do is it will simply amplify all the frequencies from 700 megahertz up to 2600 megahertz, and in this area it will also amplify all the noise in there. And what happens is it's not only that your signal is amplified, but noise besides it is amplified, destroying the mobile networks for everybody else. So that's why in the US these are actually more or less legal, they are unregulated. Over here in Europe, there have been court decisions that carriers may decide if amplifiers are used on their for the LTE one to do it properly, problems with LTE that these days you have about 15 different frequency bands. And what this thing needs to do is it's have a processor which detects on which frequency are we sending. I only want to amplify this tiny piece of spectrum and not the noise. And it's so complex to do. I know about one. There's a partner of ours that constantly bugged for us and said, here's one made in the UK which is actually really, really legal. We can send you one. And I said, yes, okay, can we please get a CE report, a lab report, which shows the frequency thingies? No. So, yeah. So, long story short, with all the problems this brings and all the work, just take two of these. It's a much better thing to do. And I know it's hard, nobody likes to drill holes, but using multiple antennas gives you so many more options. Because the other thing, if you have a bus, for example, if you put one antenna onto the front and one at the back, it already means you have quite some distance for MIMO. It also means if the line of sight for the antenna on front is blocked by, for example, a truck or whatever, the antenna on the back might still catch up better signal. So it is a pain, but it's much better to use multiple dedicated.
Dirk, I also want to add one little thing. There is one of our partners from Austria here, a company called Mindsystem. They are also very dedicated in terms of special antennas which are completely legal, which get the best possible reception. So Kurt Oberndorfer is just behind you. Touch base with him. They know exactly when you need something for covered ups for police, which can be even mounted into carbon fiber, so you can't see it at all from the outside. So touch base with it. That's why we are here. That's why we bring our partners together, because we always have to stay into those legal. Okay. By the way, we had with Mindsystem about 2 years ago, just to justify your story, we had a male functional LTE module in a router. And it took at least half an hour before Austria Telekom came with a measurement car, because it was interfering with the cell tower, just a slightly misfunction, and they went in the building and switched up off the device, because this little malfunction on this module was interfering with all other users on that cell tower. So basically, you are really interfering with the network. Not a lot of carriers allow that at any given way. No.
Everybody in the area had an outage for a couple of days. Yeah.
So, any other questions?
We had one amplifier in our development team that got sent to us, and our R&D guys, our hardware guys, opened it up, had a look at it, and said, this device will never again be powered on this building.
It was.
It actually emits so much radiation that it's about a couple of thousand times stronger than a mobile phone, and you really shouldn't operate it in a room with humans.
So, but I think, yes, please.
Huh? Yes.
It's getting hot. Yeah, at least there's anything else? That's a good point. I would say rather, I think the product, until we finished yesterday evening, not by now, but I think in the next couple of days, Dino will be happy to help you there. And I want to point out again, if you have dedicated use cases at the moment where such a device can make the difference to win a tender, or functionalities here to integrate it, if we have requirements for tenders, it's also why it is modular. If you have a tender which requires video in, yes, you can just select it and put it into the device. Even if it's not used, if you say, okay, we need to be capable to have an SSD just for nothing, yeah, add it to the system. Yeah.
The whole system internally is extremely modular. So we have this main board PCB here, the CPU PCB, and every component that emits heat is a metal block. It's directly connected to these pins here. There's a dedicated block for the PCU which we can replace. There's space for an SSD. So we can do a hell lot of things with this platform.
Yes, please.
In Sweden, we also have the 450 megahertz system. We have been into this for many years. It's a new LTE system, which are not very
some module manufacturer. Do you know which module you will put in that?
Yes, the one that we're already using all the time in the Nordics. Does anyone, Olaf, do you remember what manufacturer it was? Salient. Yes.
Salient.
Okay.
Mhm.
Good.
And it works really well.
Thanks.
Anything else? We are here. You have now, at least we have a small exclusive group. I have the head of development here, so if you have anything to address. Yeah, so and I got him here. No, no, it's no problem at all for me. But so we got now exclusive FaceTime. So if you want to add anything regarding that product, any suggestions, what would be a feature, what should be what we didn't imagine, but like we said, we had a lack of listening to our partners in the past, so we start listening from now on, at least to improve it. Yeah, Dirk.
What is popping up on a regular basis in bigger tender requests, and that's mainly due to one of your competitors, well, we can call it competitor, is dual LAN ports.
Ah,
Well, if you could sacrifice the WAN port for it, so you need WAN and dual LAN.
That's what they request often, and that's purely referring to that.
Yes, can be done.
yeah. So I would add this on my option list for the future. That might be an option for two. It will be well, don't fucking crazy. Yeah,
It was just mentioned this morning in your keynote, at least those two kind of
yeah,
boxes
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
to a side, and that's what is popping up.
You would have to sacrifice. I believe. No, you wouldn't have to sacrifice anything. Yeah, we can.
Johnny, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Why is that?
As like you said, to make this.
We could, what we've done so far, we could connect some solutions next to a switch on it.
Yeah.
And it's really often due to creation of VLANs.
That you attach multiple VLANs on each on the links, yeah.
A little switch.
Yeah. Yeah. Ah, okay. For node stacking could be a reason, yeah.
Anyway, it can be done. Yes, if you have a project where you need this, it's actually not that complex. The most complex thing actually is building a whole.
Which fits one size fits all.
Get off the Viprinet logo.
Yeah, doesn't.
No, can be done.
Yes, Arthur.
This equipment has two input ports, NVMe, HDMI, and the question is, are they working seamlessly or separately?
They are working separately, so you have two video streams at the same time. So,
But like I said, it's optional. It's not in this version now. Yeah, but it's available and also.
that we scrapped because last year saw not enough interest. So, but if you need a project, it can be done. And yeah.
Last chance.
One of the ideas that we had, but so far there was no market for it, was had some project that didn't work out in San Francisco with BART, which is their local computer training things. Today they have, and that's a situation in a lot of cases, you have video surveillance everywhere. So, but what happens, so you have some emergency situation inside a train, and someone gets stabbed and whatever, and yeah, then the next week someone can watch a video and put it on YouTube, how someone got killed. How does that help? It doesn't help. So, but the idea was, if there's these cams inside and someone pushes the emergency button, there's something going on here, that someone from the police station can live switch to that view, to that camera inside the train and see what's going on and see if they have to actually deploy forces. So that was one application that we had in mind.
James, is such a system already running in the UK? I imagine everything camera related is already running in the UK, or? At train stations, okay. And then they get a direct video link, but not in a moving train, not in a train, not on a track. Okay. Okay. That's a fair argument, yeah. Because with so many alarms, they have simply no time of it. Okay. Anything else? Good. not good, but okay. So everyone who wants to take a look at the devices is invited. Feel free to come up to the front desk. Simon will also here to answer questions. If you want to go out and enjoy the party again.
Johnny was the first one to touch this unauthorized. So Johnny, this is the one that you
Arthur, you still another question? Yeah, we can carry on. I have time still left. No problem.
you're talking about the HDMI signal.
Yeah.
It's full HD. So it's not 4K, and we can do hardware encoding in it, which means really, really low CPU usage. But this is only H.264, which is good. But there are people already asking for H.265, which is chips that cannot do in hardware. In this case, you would need one of the stronger versions that it has enough CPU power to do H.264 in F5 and software. And of course, due to the virtual machines that you can run on it, it covers the
Yeah. At least I explained that you use the.
you can of course have any other vendors codec too.
Dirk, it's cool when we have a discussion.
Regarding the possibility to run applications on the device itself, is it somewhere in Viprinet's close or far perspective to put in place a very simple application for the end user? Way of speaking, the police guy in the car, which has a device, mobile device connected to the solution, that it just can quickly check whether his connections are up, what is
If you use an iPhone, it's already available, not for Android, so you can get it.
Actually, so this
Yeah.
doesn't have to run on the device, so you would use it as an app. Johnny, my partner, created one for the iPhone, an unofficial for quite some time already, which is really, really nice. We now have an in-house app development team, which is producing one after another a couple of tools. So there will be an easy-to-use tool also for Android. Similar to what Johnny has done, there's the CDN client coming, which is going to be announced. So there will be easy setup or monitoring tool, how's the signal strength, do I have attached the antennas, cable in. Yes, so this is part of our strategy of making our products more accessible to people with limited brain capacity. Another install.
take that one for.
Yeah, okay.
I got the feedback that my keynote has been sexist.
At least.
One girl present.
And the bottom line, yeah, okay. Okay, anything else on the table? Everything you want to ever ask and never asked Simon before.
Probably the same thing will happen as in the technical track, that nobody dares to ask questions, and then they all rush to the front.
No problem at all. So, yeah, Johnny.
No. So sadly, we didn't get a prototype in time. So
I asked for it yesterday evening at 2 o'clock. Do we have at least a picture? I said, no.
we have this animation.
Yeah, animation, but at least a picture. I would have want to have a picture. Good.
So if there are no more questions, you still have to sit and smile.
No. Oh, you get one photo. Yes, of course.
You have to
No, so
So if you want, you can come to the front now, or you can go outside and enjoy some sun or storm or
anything.
flooding, whatever it is.
Good. And thank you very much for your attention. And see you later. Thank you.